The brain learns by forming neural synapses, which is a fancy word for laying a path within the brain. You can compare this to your own life in order to understand it better. When you wanted to learn a new skill, think about driving, learning to crochet, learning to speak a new language, or some other technical skill. It was slow going at the beginning. You frequently forgot the steps or became confused or needed tricks and hacks to help you remember what to do. The big reason for this is because your brain has not made a pathway for this skill yet. As you continue to practice this new skill, you find that some parts are becoming easier than others, and that your general speed at which you can take part and make decisions in this task is becoming faster. This is because your brain is starting to lay down the various parts of the pathway. It is not yet consolidated, but is moving slowly but surely in the right direction. And later, you might find that this new skill is hardly new anymore, and that you are doing the various parts of this skill without thinking about it or considering all the smaller parts. This is because this pathway within the brain has been established. You might be wondering why I am talking about neural pathways in a lesson about sleep associations and routines. Although we want to use sleep associations and routines to help our baby settle down and adapt easier, we also want them to learn how their world works and what to expect. If we use certain routines and sleep associations consistently, we are supporting the development of that neural pathway. The more we use it, the easier baby will access that pathway and later even learn to use that pathway on their own. This means that they might do parts of the routine or sleep associations on their own and fall asleep independently. The same can also be said for routines. If we use a set way to dress, bath, feed, and manage our baby, they will start to pick up on this routine and later understand the various parts automatically. This will help them raise their arms as they attempt to help you undress or dress them. It will help them hold out the other foot as you finish washing the one, and it will make them understand what is expected of them throughout the day. Establishing neural pathways is not only about performing something in the same way at the same time. It is about the sensory input a baby experiences, the motor outputs they do in reaction to the sensory information, and the environment in which they find themselves. I love using sleep associations to give the necessary input for babies to establish these neural pathways we are discussing. Sleep associations are not only some of the best ways to help a baby fall asleep, but are also very important to help them learn the skills to fall asleep on their own as they get older and will later help them resettle if they wake through the night. Sleep associations come down to the routine you follow in preparation for bedtime and in falling asleep. If a set routine is followed with similar activities leading up to sleep, a baby will eventually start associating those activities with falling asleep and become sleepy when they experience them. Sleep associations are not only related to movements like rocking or swaddling your baby, but can also be related to the environment around them. Who puts them to sleep? In which way? Textures or smells in their sleep environment, and objects that they can use to help them fall asleep. As sleep associations form part of your daily routine, they are in fact the type of activities you will use in your downtime before sleep. As a baby gets older, these activities might shift and change slightly, and they may start using some of their own activities, like leg kicking, playing with their hair, or rocking lightly while falling asleep. They might also take over some of the tasks that you have been doing for them, like holding their own bottle, stroking their hair, and rubbing their feet together. Ultimately, they will learn how to use their own sleep associations independently as they become toddlers and children. This will form the motor outputs that are used in establishing neural pathways. Now that we have delved deeper into sleep associations, we should also understand the importance of a routine. And more than that a routine can be flexible. According to the Oxford Dictionary, a routine is a sequence of actions regularly followed. I like this definition as it does not imply that a routine needs to be rigid or adhered to daily, but rather that it conveys itself to a natural order of how things are done. Inside the womb, babies experience the leisure of predictability. Their needs are constantly met, and there are only a limited number of things that can happen inside the womb, like waking, sleeping, and playing. They understand how all these activities begin and end and feel secure in this knowledge. Once babies leave the womb to join our world of possibilities, they can no longer predict what will happen from one moment to the next, and are bombarded with changes throughout the day. These continuous changes make it difficult for babies to adapt and stay well regulated, often leading to overstimulation and bouts of inconsolable crying. In order to help babies not only in their first few months, but throughout their early years of development, some form of predictability is necessary. A routine.